Professor, the Orisha are commonly recognized as celestial deities which govern elements of nature, and sometimes they're even personified. Could you please explain to us what the true nature of the Orisha is?
That's a very good question. Very important to give some details about this kind of information or subject. Yes, you are right. We usually personify this Orisha or these Orisha as a human beings. Most of the times when we are talking about, for example, Shango, we are thinking of a handsome black man with wearing in red and with an axe in his hand. Or when we are talking about Oshun, we are talking about a very pretty brown girl wearing in yellow and very sensual. But this is because there is a difference between the laws that have the dominance of the quantum world or the invisible world where Orisha are living and the laws that we perceive, the laws that have the dominance of the world that we are perceiving, the physical world that we are perceiving. In the quantum world, the laws that have the rule in this kind of world is quite different because we don't have objects like the one like we have here in the real or physical world. We have just possibilities. Everything is given in waves of possibilities. But in the real physical world, or not real physical world, but the physical world that we perceive, we don't see possibilities. We see what we call objects. And we have those objects located. But in the quantum world, those laws that have the dominance in this world, we don't have location. Those waves are not located anywhere. Why? Because an atom in that world can be or have the possibilities to be in accordance to different experiments and different laws that we have studied and we have proved in the with different evidences or as different evidences in the scientific world. The fact is that an atom can be in different places, so there is no way that it could be in just a place as we perceive it here in the physical world. That's why we are able to think about Orisha as human beings, because we don't perceive Orisha as deities which are in different places at the same time, because we don't have that kind of reference in the physical world. According to Ifa, when Olodumare decided to create existence, what happened? That the first thing that Olodumare created were the Irumole. The Irumole were those celestial heavenly deities or creatures that were part of Olodumare. So Olodumare created them as energies That's why the meaning of Irumole or Imole, as it is known in sometimes, is light. Imole, for example, that is the literal translation of the word in Yoruba, Imole, is light. It is divided into two syllables, Imo and Ile. Imo means knowledge. Ile means house. What happened? That at the very beginning, when Olodumare decided to create existence, the first thing that he created was the information, divided into three different elements. This information made of these three elements were knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. But when he created them as energies in the form of light and sound. That is according to one of the Odu of Ifa or sign of Ifa, Iroso Iwori. So that's why the first things that he created as deity, the Irumole, they are called Irumole or Imole, light, because they come from the house of light. That is the meaning of Irumole. So these Irumole, according to Obefun, were the ones that Olodumare used as helpers in order to create the human being. So it means that the human beings are part of Irumole. So there must be some kind of evidence inside us, dealing with us, that could prove that we are a kind of, let's say, part of the Irumole, part of Olodumare. And it is very, very, very easy to prove. There is something that is in common. The information. Irumole are made of information. This information has two states. The first one is energy. The second one is matter. Matter with mass. We are the matter with mass. We are one of those two states. That's why when the three elements, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, they were going to come down to earth, they had to get together. They had to get together in order to come down. And they form a yellow-like egg. What is that? If you establish the similarities, you will see that that is the cytoplasm, the cell, and the cytoplasm that is inside the cell, the first cell. And remember that everything that is created, everything that is alive here, the first things that was created as matter was a cell. Here in the physical world. And we come from that cell. So it means in turn we come from what? From information. The same place where the Irumole came out. So it means that those Irumole, when they created the man or the human being, those human beings came down to earth in order to be born in this dimension. To be born in this dimension. But they had a program. They have a system that was programmed with that kind of information, the information of Ifa, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. That is what it is manifested in each of the cells that we have in our body, in each of the systems, in each of the organs that we have inside the body. That they know what is good for the development of the life and what could damage or hurt that kind of development. And they know when to protect from those information that we put inside our body through the things that we eat or through the things that we think or feel, and could be something that it could be dangerous or could damage that system, that cell, or that development. So that kind of information is a one that make the difference between the human being and the Orisha we are living in, the human being represented in those cells, organs, and systems. Why? Because when you see the etymology of the word Orisha, you will see that Orisha means, or what it has, 3 syllables. O-ri-sha. O is a personal pronoun. He or she. Ri, to see, to perceive, to know. Sha, the origin. So the Orisha know the origin of the things because they were the creators, along with Olodumare, of those things, directed by Olodumare. Everything that we see, they have the touch of the Orishas. And they are attached to the Orisha. That is the real religion, by the way, because the first meaning of religion is attached to. The word religion, from the Latin religio. All right? Attached to. So it means that we are attached to those Orishas in the form of energy. They are the energy, and they make the energy that we need in order to put those systems, organs, cells to work, to create a life, to be alive. We are talking about a very pretty brown girl wearing in yellow and very sensual. But this is because there is a difference between the laws or these Orisha as a human beings. Most of the times when we are talking about, for example, Shango, we are thinking of a handsome black man with wearing in red and with an axe in his hand. Or when we are talking about Oshun, that have the dominance of the quantum world or the invisible world where Orisha are living, and the laws that we perceive, the laws that have the dominance of the world that we are perceiving, the physical world that we are perceiving.
Could you please explain to us what the true nature of the Orisha is?
That's a very good question. Very important to give some details about this kind of information or subject. Yes, you are right. We usually personify this Orisha.
Professor, the Orisha are commonly recognized as celestial deities which govern elements of nature, and sometimes they're even personified.